Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Georgiman and I'm your friendly neighborhood anime and manga fan. I love all things anime and all things manga, and I'm here today to talk about Oshi no Ko episode 6. So, what did I think about this week's episode? To be honest, I think this episode was fantastic, and I would go as far as to say that I think that this week's episode is, to me personally, the best episode of the entire series right now. And I know that might be a hot take because the first episode was phenomenal, and I know a lot of people think that it's one of the best anime episodes of all time, and I would agree with that, but I really do think that this week's episode really outperformed that one, because this one, you guys gotta remember, this one was only 20 minutes, and I personally think that in a quality standpoint, I think that this week's episode, it was on equal level, if not a little better than the first episode. But before I get any further with this week's episode, I just wanted to give you guys a quick reminder to make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you guys can be up to date with all my Oshi no Ko as well as all my anime and manga content that I'll be providing in this channel. Really will appreciate it if you guys would subscribe to my YouTube channel. It really helps out a lot, so if you guys could, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get into this week's episode. So this week's episode starts where pretty much we catch up with the people in the reality show are doing, and we see that one of them, Yuki, she's planning to leave. She starts crying and she's like, you know what, I won't be able to find love in here. And, she's given up on it, and the other members are panicking. They're like, no, don't leave. What? No way. And, to the surprise of them, it's all an act. Or she genuinely doesn't feel like she's going to get love in this reality show, but she's also amplifying her own emotions to make it look good in the camera, because she's trying to steal the spotlight, because that's the goal of this show. A lot of these people in the show, they want to get the spotlight, therefore become the more popular and get more clout, and she is the prime example because she elevated the ratings, at least because they're like, no, don't leave. And she's also romancing one of the guys, and as well as another guy's getting jealous, and it's creating this love triangle. And right now she and those two guys are the biggest draw of the show, and as we all know, drama creates ratings, and she's killing it right now. She's doing a great job in the sense that she's capturing, the audience, and, she's just bringing them back to the show, and that's what they're supposed to do. Now, somebody that's struggling in that particular department is Akane. And Akane is a character that we got introduced to last week's episode, but in this week's episode, she is, to me, the face of the episode. She is the one, the POV slash the main character of this week's episode, because we get a lot of insight and we get to see, what she's all about. And I'm just gonna say it right now, she won me over. I think she might be my favorite character right now because of what happened in this episode, and just how much depth we got of her, because we got to experience all her struggles. And we start off with pretty much, in the show, she's kind of like a background character, and that's what you don't want to do when her, agency is getting mad. They're like, what? She's throwing away all this opportunity of, to be exposed, and she's doing nothing with it. She's throwing it away. And she overhears this, and she starts feeling down, like, because she feels like she's letting her agency down. And I will say her manager was really nice, because he really cares for her, and he said that I'll protect you no matter what. But that didn't stop her. She seems like a very hardworking woman, and she gives it her all. And in all honesty, she really tries her damn hardest to be what the agency wants. And you see just how much she's dedicated. She's been studying, she takes notes, she works out, she does all these like singing lessons. She really gives it her 110%, and she just seems like a positive, human being. And it's sad what happens in this week's episode, because as we see is that, because in the drama of the, the love triangle, whatever, she herself, after hearing what the agency had to say, she's like, okay, I'm gonna be the face of, I'm gonna be face first and just try to get some exposure in the show. And the way that she does that is because she starts trying to, steal away one of the guys that the girl, Yuki's talking to. At one point, there's an altercation where she's, she wants to step up and, make a spotlight in the show. That way, people will recognize her. And while she's trying to stop the girl from stealing the guy, one of her nails happens to like fly off and, scratch the girl's cheek. And, there's blood everywhere. And she feels terrible because she's a very kind-hearted woman, and it's she just kind of breaks down because she's like, oh my god, it's all my fault. And we all know it's not her fault, but she really beats herself about it. She's like, why? I can't believe I went and I let myself go and got the anger taken over me, and I taken out on this girl. And she's just sad. But what you see is Yuki, she gives her a hug, just like, it's fine, dude, like, don't forget about it, like, it's fine, like, I'm glad that you stepped up and, you know, you got some exposure, but, you know, I between me and you, it's fine, don't worry about it, like, the cameras weren't rolling, so no one's gonna see this. But the thing is, the cameras did cut, you know, after, you know, she got scratched or whatever, but the cameras weren't rolling where, you know, she accepted the apology from Akane. And but you see the aftermath effects of that, and what you see is that pretty much the entire internet hates her. They pretty much trying to cancel her. They just going full on. You see tweets and you see YouTube video thumbnails where it's just her being like talked down upon, like they're just like, she's evil, she sucks, like she just needs to get over it, like, you know, her career is over. And you really, I think this episode, the best thing that it did is capture, you know, what the dangers of social media and, you know, mob mentality when it comes to a lot of cancel culture, and how people just pretty much, it's like a mob mentality, you know, they all just want to ridicule somebody and try to take them down no matter what the cost is. And, you know, all these people tweeting this stuff about Akane, they don't know anything about her. They really don't know anything regarding her. All they know is from what they've seen in the reality show. Yet they still say, you know, these terrible things like you should die. And you just see her go through it. Like, she just has a whole breakdown. Like, she feels she's depressed. Like, all of these effects of, you know, one event, like, and that's the thing with a lot of, like, you know, cancel culture, is like it's individual, you know, event just jeopardizes your entire life. Like, I don't agree with that, you know, at all. And I think, you know, Akasaka, you know, the author, he really encapsulated like the dangers of, you know, what the toxicity of social media as well as cancel culture does to a human being in, you know, in that perspective. And what we see is that, you know, she's depressed, and it goes to the point where she doesn't eat, you know, she's just laying in bed looking at tweets, and then, you know, that feeds her more into the depression. And eventually she just kind of walks out of her house, she's walking around, and she just says like it would be so easy. And you just see that she's on top of a bridge, and looks like she's about to jump, like she's about to take her own life. And when I saw that scene, like, it really broke my heart, because I was like, whoa, we're really going there. Like, and that's what I appreciate a lot about the author Akasaka, is that he, you know, if you read, you know, Love is War, his other work, you know that he really can capture, you know, the emotional highs of a character and, you know, their struggle and whatnot. And I think that he did an amazing job, you know, when it came to writing this. And the anime just absolutely killed it, because I was crying. I was in tears when I got to that part, because I was like, oh my god, don't do it, because that's not the answer. And I can't emphasize this enough for anybody watching. You know, if you ever feel down and, you know, you think that, you know, nothing's ever gonna get better than how it is today, just know that tomorrow is a brighter day. Because, you know, everybody goes through their struggles, man. And, you know, at the end of the day, it's all about, you know, overcoming them struggles and perceiving and, you know, just continuing on. Now, as soon as you see her, you know, jump and try to, you know, end her own life, you see that, you know, who's there? Aqua. And Aqua intercepts her and catches her and prevents her from falling. And that's how the episode ends. Now, we don't know why Aqua was exactly following her, but I am very glad that he was, because he managed to save her at the naked time, because a couple of seconds later, you know, it would have been over and it would have been terrible. But overall, I thought this episode was fantastic, and, you know, it was a very emotional episode. I mean, like I said, this is a very, you know, it was heavy, it was very dark, and it was also a great insight on like the whole, you know, toxicity of social media and, you know, cancel culture as a whole. And I can't stress this enough. I think this episode was fantastic, and I honestly feel like up to this point, just the anime has been absolutely stellar, and I'm looking forward to what's going to happen in the future in the story. But with that being said, what did you guys think about this week's episode? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? Did you guys thought it was alright? Whatever you guys thought, let me know in the comment section down below. Also, thank you so much for sticking all the way to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more Oshinoko, as well as more anime and manga content in the near future. But yeah, with that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye bye.